Listening frequencies are open. It's 2026 and we're back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Last Excelsior. We are underway here. We're going to work through the tech issues as we're going because we didn't want to have another late start. So we're just going to pile on through. But it's good to see everybody. Welcome back. It's 2026. We have been running this campaign for a little over a year now, and we have now entered into the final batch of episodes. And we'll have some announcements about what's coming next soon. So stay tuned for that. But for now, we're just going to go jumping right into our announcements for everyone here to get underway. Let's just kick things off. First of all, my only announcement is that I'm really happy to see all these faces because I missed you guys, and it's nice to see folks again, and it's nice to be gaming with y'all again.
You missed us, aim better next time. Thank you.
I didn't get that. What was that? Did you threaten my life? Is that what happened? Did I miss it?
No, I invited you to make the attempt.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's just 2026. I want to make it a few more months. So, yeah, let's go ahead and just kick things off. Anybody got anything they'd like to announce tonight? Kick off the year and stuff.
I'll kick it off.
Do it.
As usual, on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, over on Table Story, I'm in a campaign called the Department of Unsolved Mysteries, or DUM. It's been very fun. If you like Gravity Falls, Warehouse 13, a little bit of town called Eureka, all of that kind of stuff, you'll probably really enjoy DUM. It's been a lot of fun. We've been having some very emotional, but also very silly episodes and moments. You can also see some of my writing, at least soon. Pies are recently announced. Some of their new bits coming up, and one of them is Lost Omens High Seas, a book all about the oceans and seas and what was atop and beneath them. Recently, and I'm one of the writers on it. So if you want to do a little bit of piracy,
that's why we were talking. I'm caught up now.
You can do a little bit of piracy. Keep an eye out for when the pre-orders open, which I think actually pre-orders might be already open, but when it officially comes out, you get to see some of the stuff written in there because I got my grubby mitt all over that. It was very fun to write. I think that's everything. Yeah.
Great. All right. Did anybody else have anything they got coming up that they'd like to talk about, or announce, or warn people about?
No, I offer no warning.
It's true. I mean, from the day I've met Sam, they've talked about how much Rogue is their favorite class, and that hasn't changed terribly much.
Druid. I'm in my Druid era. I've been in my Druid era.
That's probably true. I mean, in all honesty, like the long running joke is that if you want to get Sam hooked on something, you just put Doggo in game.
Yeah.
It's very simple. It's not. It's also not a joke.
Yeah, it's not.
But it's not the only thing I'm hooked on. It's also phonics.
And it worked. All right.
I will say real quick that it's 2026, and I have been working on stuff that I have previously mentioned, and over the next few months, you will see more activity from me online regarding those things. Okay. I love it. But yeah, so keep an eye out. And if you can, there's nothing there right now, but go follow We Are the Normal Ones on all the socials. I think it's on all the socials now, so go follow that. And there will be things there soon.
All right. Okay, anybody else have anything? Yeah, Caitlin.
Okay, so I told everybody I was going to talk a little bit at the top of this, so bear with me. It's going to be longer than my normal announcements, but I really want to talk about it. As a lot of you know, I live in Minneapolis, and obviously you've probably seen a ton of really overwhelming and kind of really messed up stuff coming out of my city over the past couple days this week. It's been pretty rough. Some schools have opted to close. Some medical practices have closed. I have friends who don't feel safe leaving their house right now. It's kind of a clusterfuck, to be honest. And I know a lot of people want to help, but don't really know where to start because there's a billion and one like avenues and like GoFundMe's and different causes that are just being blasted all over the place, and it's really hard to sift through. And so I wanted to point out 3 things. I went through and like kind of read through a bunch of stuff and just kind of in my own community and what I know about. I wanted to highlight 3 things that you could pick from that would be really, really good and really hugely appreciated up here. The first one is Minneapolis specific. If you missed it, Trump recently suspended federal funding for SNAP benefits in Minnesota as like, I don't know, punishment for dissent or something, I guess. But there's a hunger relief program here called Second Harvest Heartland, and they're a great place to give if you've got some cash to spare, and they deserve the help a lot. They are going to be helping feed a lot of people who are struggling right now through this. So that is 2harvest.org, the number 2, the word harvest, HARVEST.org. So that is the first one. The second one is Minneapolis, as well as any other place that is currently being harassed by ICE. It's something you can do in communities where you are, or just like anywhere you know about it. You can direct it here if you want to. And this one's you might require a little bit more research on your end if you're going to do it where you are. And that is buying gear for and doing like bail relief for ICE observers. I know one of our groups here was looking to get more dash cams and memory cards specifically. Right now, the contact that I know of specifically in Minneapolis is Nick Benson, and he's on Blue Sky. I believe Ottergoose, OTTERGOOSE.net. Ottergoose. And I believe right now he's specifically collecting funds for dash cams, is taking dash cam donations, is taking donations for I don't know if they're doing bail stuff specifically, but gas cards for drivers doing Fed patrols and like keeping an eye on where the movement is happening. And like literally people are driving around all day following ICE around to make sure that nobody's caught unaware, which has been really good in protecting people to the best of our ability. But like I said, I recommend researching in your area for similar orgs if you are also being heckled by bullies. There are going to be orgs of similar caliber in places where you live too. The third one is a call to action specifically for those who live in the United States. It is not monetary. Unfortunately, it is specifically for United States residents. And I know it's really hard, and I've talked about this before for other things, but I really encourage you to get your representatives' numbers and just complain at them. Call after hours. So you don't have to talk to anybody. You don't have to be eloquent. You don't have to like have a script if you don't want to. You don't even have to like say things that you feel are like you just have to complain at them. The numbers are important. Letting them know that you're upset and you're scared or you're angry or literally however you feel. Calling after hours, calling on a weekend, and just leaving an angry voicemail. Not only is it very cathartic, but it is also like an easy way to make your voice heard. There's no money involved if you're in a tight spot, and I recommend it. I put up a video like a while ago giving an example of how to like specifically read a script and leave a voicemail, and that's pinned on my Blue Sky if that's something that would be helpful for you. But I know 5 calls is an easy way to get your representatives' numbers, and I recommend finding them and just complaining, being loud and annoying. You can call more than once. You can call with the same thing. You can call back with follow-up thoughts. You can find scripts online pretty easily. It all helps. Just be loud. So yeah, those are my 3 suggestions. Number 2, harvest.org for those who are losing their SNAP benefits up here. Looking into ICE observers near you or up here and giving them your support, and then making a bunch of phone calls. Thank you for letting me talk a lot off the top on something that's a little heavy. It's been kind of horrible up here the past couple of days, and seeing a lot of people come together to protect their communities and our community has meant a lot. And so I just wanted to narrow down the field of view just a little bit and give a few options for ways to help to make that less kind of overwhelming of a sea to wade through. So thank you. That is my soapbox. I'm very excited to be back with all of you. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Caitlin. Appreciate that. And glad you're doing all right. Well as you can be, I suppose.
Well as you can be, yeah.
Yeah. All right. If there's nothing else, then let's go ahead and begin tonight's episode of The Last Excelsior. Welcome back. We are going to kick off this first session of 2026 with quite the journey happening for our crew. When we last left off, a couple of things had been dropped on the crew of the USS Pride. The big one, of course, was learning that Wesot was not who we thought he was. In fact, Captain Wesot, that plucky bullion that was rescued from a dying freighter, is in fact playing host to a sentient AI from the future that fled its body, its original psyche, into this particular host in order to escape. The explanation is pretty fantastic, but considering what you have all been through, it does correlate with what you know about the situation. There is a Romulan ship from the future that is apparently a remnant of a time war that is going to be fought some many hundreds of years from now. It'll still be operating after whatever peace or accords have been signed. This thing is still in operation. What's worse is it was apparently some kind of prototype ship that is able to cloak its activities from the timeline using variant anti-chronoton particles, things that kind of blend its actions in and make it impossible to tell where the changes happened. If captained correctly and intelligently, it's possible to use this weapon spaced out enough across a timeline to make it near impossible to actually triangulate where it is and where it disrupted. What you know for a fact is that this original mission started out as, the Romulan that was captaining this vessel from the future has since disembarked from the vessel itself in an attempt to undo everything that she was doing. This wasn't because she was seeking some kind of a redemption tour. It's because the Leopard's Face's eating party thing happened. Her changes to the timeline and the AI doing as it was meant to do by the people that created it did not discriminate when it started altering things. And she quickly learned the consequence of trying to play God with the timeline. Her family and her own timeline were slowly being eaten away and wiped out as she was trying to initiate some new imperialistic future for the Romulan people at the expense of the deaths of trillions. That is now not so certain anymore. But what is certain is that she is out of the picture, but the ship very much is still in it. And if you were to believe Wesot, he is a fraction of the psyche of that AI. Now, he has told you all that he is kind of bonded to the USS Pride now, because of the nature of him leapfrogging across the galaxy to get away. His explanation is that the multiple construct versions of this particular ship in the timeline started vying for control and become the prime intelligence of the ship itself. But he is a pacifist. He was the side of compassion, and he decided to flee instead of play that game. And that's how you all came into contact with them. He officially requested asylum. Before anything else moved forward, though, it was agreed that you guys were going to run extensive medical tests with his consent to find out the truth to what he was saying and to learn more about his condition. Is he a true biological entity? Is he a construct echo from the past, mimicking and projecting? Is he something altogether new? While this was happening, Aeon decided, I don't know the nature of this bizarre mind meld time jump, the time meld, if you will, that I seem to be able to do, where I can go into a psychic recursion and just experience events that may or may not have happened in the future, the past. It's unclear. But it's been happening to Taeon, and it's been inexplicable. Maybe there's an opportunity here to try to use that, like actually use it, and reach out and contact the one person that might be able to answer some questions. Carl, aka the Guardian of Forever, who you've already had one contact with. Now, there's all kinds of problems with this. First of all, you are in serious breach of protocol for Starfleet. Even talking about the Guardian could put you guys up for court-martial. And possible, I wouldn't say imprisonment, but definitely you would be removed from anybody who might hear you ever talking about something that could potentially be world-ending. However, no one on the ship, including your doctors, including your senior officers, no one gives a damn because a lot is at stake and rules get broken all the time. Welcome to Starfleet. On top of that, discussions have been had about what to do with Wesot. And Wesot has informed all of you that the ship is going to come looking for him, but he believes that he knows where to find it as well, that he is connected to it. And the jury's kind of out right now about what y'all want to do next. But the one thing you do know is that maybe one of the options for Wesot is finding a way to talk to the Bajorans about how they might be able to help and sort of stash him away. This is kind of the initial idea. And it's not fully understood if he is truly melded eternally with the ship. He seems to suggest that he is. In conclusion of all of this, it is worth noting that your chief of security doesn't believe a damn word coming out of Wesot's mouth. She is offered this rather strong opinion with multiple caveats that she's aware she's a flawed human being that might just be getting paranoid. She doesn't believe she's being prejudiced against this particular life form. She believes that this is there are too many holes in a lot of the explanations. And she also just was honest with you, Captain, and said, I'm trusting my gut. Something in me tells me Wesot's not telling us everything. They're holding something back, or they're lying. And then because it's also regulation, she had to tell you about her relationship with Taeon, which was totally smooth and was not in any way uncomfortable for anybody in the room, and did not result in her quickly exiting after she accidentally let it slip that Taeon looked great coming off that transporter after that rescue mission. Where we start tonight, though, in sickbay, as you're initiating this melding ritual, the idea is to try to reach out psychically and contact Carl using whatever these chronoton variants have been allowing you to do, assuming it's part of that. In order to play it safe, you've decided, I need my bestie to help me essentially anchor myself while I'm doing this. And there's no other Vulcan you trust than the Chief's Helm's operation officer and fellow friend, who is also quite good at keeping things on the level with tough love and being very honest. And she has offered to help you. Tavine is going to be in sickbay with you, but Tavine has decided not to take any chances with that either. None of y'all are taking chances. It's stacking buffs here to help with this. So Tavine was joined by their sibling, Commander Cadence, the XO of the ship. And to make sure that everything goes down the way it's supposed to, Captain Hata has also joined them in sickbay to watch Dr. Conway monitor the vitals and do what she can as this happens, with the full understanding that they are breaking Starfleet regulations. Nobody, and I mean nobody, raises any objections to the captain to put away in the log for later. But sickbay right now is off limits to anybody except for a medical support staff. As you were all doing this, the lights have been lowered, the incense has been lit, the meditation began. Hypo sprays have been used to sort of help calm the nerves and fortify you guys mentally. I want to remind both our Aux crew and I want to remind our players that before we last left off, Sam had created a wonderful trait, There's No Place Like Home, which is essentially going to be a trait that is going to help if things get bad, or if you can use that trait in the moment in the narrative to bolster yourself or help. But essentially, it is an ace up your sleeve that you can play for a scene. Keeping in mind, though, you can only invoke a trait once per scene. So use it wisely. But with that,
unwisely only.
Sam is like, I'm using it right now. I'm going on my own magical mystery tour. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I'm going to the holodeck. There's no place like home. Bye, guys. So we're going to begin with a quick question, just for not only for me, but like so the audience knows. I am curious on the inside here, just so I understand. Have the siblings ever melded before? It's a time-honored tradition. You have? Okay. When was the last time y'all melded? And how did it go?
Probably pre-academy.
Yeah. Oh, definitely pre-academy.
Like,
Was it maybe when you were leaving for the academy, Tavine? Like the night before?
maybe. Were we arguing already then?
I mean,
Oh, it might have been.
relative to what baseline?
I guess that's fair. But like
No, yeah, it's we were already into. I was not looking forward to the experience of you leaving me
yeah.
another time.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you guys a piece of information about your meld real quick.
Mhm.
Your father only said this to you, Tavine. He was adamantly against it. While it is tradition for Vulcan parents and even siblings to share that bond with one another, your father, without any shame whatsoever, the Vulcan ambassador, by the way, your father's name is Varin, the Vulcan ambassador did not believe that it was appropriate to do it with a human and that a human's emotions would overwhelm you. But what was curious about that, and it's never left you, Tavine, but your father was particularly insistent and almost overprotective of you. There was something he was holding back, and you've never figured out what it was. But he always took particular umbrage and was apparently, in the cold fury that only Vulcans are known for, was very disappointed when he found out that the meld had happened.
Oh, if he only found out about the one time, then we did great.
He only found out about the one time.
Well, yeah,
But
yeah. Some objections due to it being untrained and therefore wildly unsafe, but
Yeah,
that sounds
that
like
is not his concern.
No, of course it wasn't. Yeah.
No, his concern, he was directing it squarely at you, Tavine.
Mm-hmm.
He had dismissed your sibling altogether.
Yeah, that sounds like father.
But
Yeah.
with you, he seemed to be particularly concerned about you. And
Concerned. Yeah, no, I would say I bet they didn't. Right, but I bet they didn't before Academy. I bet it was maybe at some point within the year before.
Yeah, like a mid-high school kind of
Yeah.
vibe for you. Obviously,
For me,
I was younger.
Mhm.
Okay.
Because I wasn't older.
So it's been a hot minute. Lots has happened, lots has changed.
Yeah.
Okay. My mind to your mind. You feel the fingertips on the sides of your face, except they don't feel like fingertips. Instead, it feels like an electrical current. It doesn't sting. It doesn't jolt. It simply flows. And you find yourself flowing with it. You have to imagine, as a human, Cadence, memories flooding back of what this was like the first time you experienced it. You could joke that this must be what it feels like to be a whole neuron flying through space. In that particular moment, though, in that moment of zen and quiet, as your thoughts slip away, what grows louder and louder are the harmonies connecting of thoughts joining. What makes this different, though, is there is a third person here. This was never meant to be a joining of your minds, but a bolstering to Aeon's mind. A fortification as to Aeon slips into the meditation. That is not what happens. Aeon, you are the first to become aware that something is different. Not necessarily wrong, just different. You begin to feel a sensation of being pulled away. Like if you were in a rolling chair and someone from behind, as a joke, just came up and grabbed the back of it and just started dragging you away from your friends who were talking to you for a second, like a prank. At least that's what it initially feels like. The sudden jolt and sensation of you being pulled back immediately triggers in you an instinctual survival terror that you're about to be ripped right through the bulkhead and out into the emptiness of space. So violent and sudden is this sensation. That's only a second, because you realize in that moment, to Aeon, you felt this before. It's the presence of that time warp or anomaly, whatever it is, that's psychically intertwined with your connections to reaching out psychically to other beings or yourself. its presence is there again. Like you were trying to get into a mind meld, but you may have stepped into a whole pothole of space-time. And at first, nothing makes sense. And you find yourself being dragged into a portal, like a spinning tunnel that suddenly grows warmer and brighter in front of you. You have no sensations of momentum at all anymore. Now it just feels like a picture is being rolled out in front of your eyes. Before you can comprehend that you are no longer sitting, standing, floating, you find yourself aware of being inside this beautiful, spacious, minimalistic living room. There's a beautiful warm beam of sunlight shining down from a grand skylight in the ceiling. And you can see little bitty motes of dust floating between this grand beam of sun. Outside, the window to your left, which takes up the entirety of the wall, is what looks like a beautiful Zen garden. Meticulously worked. There's no mistaking the Vulcan artifacts you see along the walls, the pedestals. There's no mistaking the scrolls that are laid out. And as you're trying to understand where you are, the door opens. And instinctively, looking behind you and realizing that there's a hallway behind you. Stepping into the hallway, creeping out, is a very tiny, cautious-looking Tavine. You can see her little pointed Vulcan ears just peeking out from underneath what looks like a bunch of messy locks. Immediate instinct comes over you that she's going to be in trouble because her eye is black. She takes a look around and puts one foot out. And almost comically, right behind her, you see a very small, very tiny, bloody-lipped Cadence. And both of them look like they are staring down the corridor like they do not want to get caught. Cadence, Tavine, you stand next to Aeon, looking at yourselves in this memory. You recognize your father's house in New Mexico, a place where he often liked to go because it was most closely resemblant to some of the environs on Vulcan before he ever beamed back to San Francisco for work. You remember this day, both of you, very well. This was a day your father got big news, big news. And almost on cue, one of the doors in the back of the house opens and a conversation is heard as you hear this. In Vulcan, you can hear voices in the back of the house. Catching a word or two, you think you hear someone say, "Yes. Yes. We have confirmation now. We were contacted only hours ago. Sarek has died." "Yes. I believe it will only be a matter of time. I expect to hear from Vulcan shortly for my confirmation. Thank you." Somebody is responding to him on a comms call. And as he is walking into the living room, you now see this intimidating figure to Aeon. An old man, older for Vulcan, looks like he's probably well into his hundreds. And the severity of his face is a little intimidating just for you as an adult here watching it. There's Vulcans who exude no emotion, and then there are some Vulcans who just have like resting Daedra face. They just are really good at looking severe. This is an older gentleman whose lines have come to rest across his expression in such a way that everything about him makes him look as though he is a stern, disappointed statue, a moving monument to judgment and unfeeling logic. And as he appears into the bedroom, those two little heads immediately disappear in the hallway. And the man stops. Devine, come out here at once. Bring your sibling with you. Now. Shh, you guys hear the door open, and Cadence, Devine, reliving this memory together, the two of you step out, unable to hide that the two of you were roughhousing. You remember this day so very well. This was the day, Cadence. You remember things felt different after today for some reason. Things changed after today for some reason. He stands before the two of you and says, I see you have injured one another against my expressed wishes. This is unbecoming. Today is the day I've long foretold would come. And my efforts here on Earth to become the next Vulcan ambassador are now coming to fruition at last. It is unfortunate that you have chosen today of all days to disobey me. Most unfortunate. And he turns without another word. And there's a feeling of dread that you remember, knowing more admonishment will come later, when it is logical. Memory stays, the room stays, but the two younger versions of yourselves disappear in front of you, fade away. Your father's footsteps fade as he walks into his office just down the corridor where he was always doing something. And Tavine, Cadence, both of you remember sneaking into that office one time. The sense of dread you have, it's like a lion's cave at the end of the hall. You three of you are now alone, not where you're supposed to be at all in this moment. Is it a memory or are you witnessing time? It's hard to say. Why you're here is hard to say.
This wasn't the plan. I must
No,
have done something wrong. Sorry about that.
I doubt this was your doing. It does seem to be directly related to the two of us. One moment. Tavine's gonna try to like focus us out of this. Like, can we like we gotta like sift through some stuff here clearly that she wasn't expecting, like cobwebs, maybe just like is gonna try to like see if she can pinpoint what's happening.
I would like to look at Tavine and Cadence, and I want to gauge their response to what is just. I'm not going to say anything, but I just want to see if I can gauge anything from the expression as they're feeling towards what just happened.
You're gonna have to roll for against Tavine for how she is locked down.
I'll give you cadences for free though.
Yeah.
They're clearly trying to figure out if they can punch a memory. Like they're like, this is my chance to make things go differently.
In which case, Tavine and to Aeon, you both feel this rage that Cadence has described.
Which I guess is like diet rage for y'all since it's coming out of a human, not a Vulcan.
I don't know.
LaCroix anger.
Cadence is an overachiever.
Look, I
Cadence
try,
was raised
but
by
I
a
understand.
Vulcan.
It's like strength, you know? Like, do I have that dog in me? Sure. Do I have that physiology in me?
Sure.
No.
I think in that case, my gaze can like almost not snaps. I wouldn't say it's very sudden or violent, but I definitely like lingers more on Cadence as I feel this kind of radiate off them.
In which case, because there's really no way, and that's what I was going to get to next. You do not have to roll. You are mind melded. You see
Awesome.
everything.
Awesome. On her face, Tavine is as though nothing has happened and we just have taken a wrong turn on our way to the mess hall. She is filled with abject despair.
So all of you are also experiencing that as well. What becomes very clear is anybody who experiences any kind of intense emotion here, everyone is dosed with it. You can all, it's not necessarily yours. It feels like an emotion, but it doesn't belong to you. You're aware of it being separate, but empathically, you are affected by it.
My mind to your mind, my problems to your problems.
Yeah.
My trauma to your trauma. And in this case, I'll expand a little bit based on backstory that I've been told, which is now being laid bare, whether they like it or not. The anger coming out of Cadence feels old. This is not a fresh like reminder. Oh yeah, I remember what this was like. It is what you become aware is it has been a constant note being struck since Cadence was very small, and similar sensations coming from Tavine.
You don't need to speak about it, but I can feel what the two of you are feeling.
Wave of deep embarrassment.
I gotta tell you, for Cadence, this is not easy because Vulcan emotions, they are a firestorm.
Yeah, forgot the part where you are way too much.
In fact, I'm gonna say that wave of embarrassment, anger, and sorrow begins to cause the scene to change. And I'm gonna ask Tavine or Cadence, what moment did you two share together that invoked shame, anger, and sorrow?
Oh my god, was it the dress?
Like
that
one's less sorrow.
Yeah, maybe like prior to or like the aftermath of. That could be something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's probably more deeper. That one ended up okay.
I mean, it would be a later one. I think. I think
That's
it would be. When did you get your Academy acceptance letter?
Okay, no, totally. Actually, that would have been.
I can tell you when.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that was right after Mozzie died.
Tavine started the Academy in 2365, so likely got the letter about a year before.
Which means, yeah, so Mozzie just died, and Tavine just got her acceptance letter.
There's the sorrow and the anger. You know,
all of it. Yeah, all of it's there. Yep.
In that case, we're going to begin suddenly. To Aeon, you begin to feel very aware. Now you're standing outside where that Zen garden is currently not quite as pristine. Standing next to it, you can see the ambassador. The ambassador who is looking like he is having a difficult time not invoking emotional response. You can't understand what's being said. The memory is more feeling at this point, though it might be clear to our players of the characters who might remember specific words that were spoken. But definitely one thing rings crystal clear. to the two is that whatever the nature of this argument, it seems to be what agitating it is Ambassador Varin is remorseless about the loss of Mozzie. Of course, unfeeling and uncaring. There is Vulcans who acknowledge loss and understand that emotional beings around them experience loss in a different way. Your father, however, says words that neither one of you have ever forgotten. Perhaps it is best for this household that she is gone, so she will no longer be a poor influence upon you and your rather reckless desires to engage in pursuing careers in Starfleet.
I thought diplomats were supposed to be able to use words. Those suck.
The rake that he's using in the sand stops.
Honestly, if you're that bad at talking to humans, no wonder you didn't get that ambassadorship.
He raises the rake and sets it next to him for a moment. He says, "You are the reason I did not get the ambassadorship," as he turns.
I've already been accepted to the academy. I start next year.
There's still time. You may write them and tell them that you withdraw your application.
I will not.
You mean to disobey me?
I do.
This is, of course, the unfortunate side effect of inviting you into our family. Looks directly at you, Cadence. I see now the risk that I took in order to gain the ambassadorship was miscalculated.
You ever think maybe not everything is my fault and maybe you just suck?
Thinking is something I do quite often, Cadence.
Yeah, but not well.
What would you have to gauge that assessment upon?
Every other person on this planet.
Every other person on this planet is a fool. He sets the rake down.
Takes one to know one.
And you know them quite well. When your sibling leaves, you may leave with them. Do clear out your room. That'll be all. And he, without another word, calmly places a coat back up onto his shoulders. Most disappointing.
I'm gonna stomp out and slam the door.
When the door slams, Cadence vanishes from everywhere all at once. And then you're in Cadence's room. After. And the Cadence that was standing here as an observer, Cadence, you now find yourself looking at the wet palms of your hands as you lift your face out of them.
Okay, maybe memory lane's bad, actually.
What do I feel coming off of Cadence and Tavine?
Insight command check. And this is a flat difficulty of 2 because there's more than just feeling their emotions. There's something else going on here.
Was that presence? No, insight command, you said?
Insight command.
Okay.
Difficulty 2.
I'll just roll that. Only got one success.
You don't know what's going on here. You feel their emotions, but to Aeon, something has caused this detour. Something has caused this blocking that you find yourselves here and not what you were trying to do. It's not entirely clear to you. You think this might be something of a time echo because of the sensations you experienced, or perhaps you didn't get to complete the journey and you found yourselves in their psyche. You're not sure. On the outside, while all of this is happening, though, Dr. Conway looks at you, Captain, and says, I don't really have a compass on whether or not this is working, but their vitals are showing stress. And I'm reading elevated heart rates and adrenals activating. Everything seems to be within norms for the moment, though, Captain.
All right, then. And I look over at them. What do I see? What is their body positions?
Go ahead.
I believe from last session, Tavine and Cadence were kind of curled up.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like
Yeah.
temple to temple, sort of like sat. And then I don't know, is Taeyeon laying or also sitting?
Taeyeon
is sitting, I think.
Yeah, we were in a meditation stance. Yeah.
Yeah. So then you have Tavine hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. To your side of your face.
Mm-hmm. Hata looks back at the doctor. I trust that you will pull them out if need be.
All I can do is monitor their vitals. If those show any signs of extreme duress, then I will attempt to wake them up. But so little is known about what they're attempting to do. I have concerns. I don't know exactly what it will do to them if I give them a cortical stimulator. It could exacerbate the issue, it could force them out, but Cadence and Tavine seem to believe that they will be able to help if the Aeon becomes lost.
Hata sighs, and she's been sitting on like an empty med bay bed.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm gonna activate my little roving fish tank.
Okay.
So I can be a little more comfortable.
Okay. Holographic emitters and force fields immediately activate around you, and the adapted life support systems begin to replicate the perfectly temperatured seawater directly into the bubble. And before long, you are now in essentially a column of water that responds to your command.
Okay.
As you hover. Your voice is slightly modulated from the outside, but you are able to communicate and interact and do as you do.
And I don't see anything else. I just kind of like lean against the glass and like watch, or not the glass, the holographic glass.
Yeah, of course.
And watch them closely.
Okay. In this memory, you are all still in the room with Cadence right now, and it's not entirely clear what happens now or what to do next.
I think there's a knock at the door, actually.
Okay.
Screw you. This is the
Does that mean I can come in?
Fine.
Door opens. Yeah, I've got 18-year-old Tavine walks in. Door closes. She's much more like starched, put together in like a stiff, uncomfortable way than she was as a child. And you can kind of see, like, now she's much more like put together as in like it just seems more natural on her, like being very upright and stuff, but you can see it fits like a suit in the wrong size at this age where she's like trying to be something and it doesn't always work very clearly. But she comes in, shuts the door, um, and comes and sits down on the bed next to you. I'm sorry I didn't tell you.
Yeah. You told me at the same time as him?
In hindsight, it was not intelligent of me. However, I thought I could dissuade him from continuing whatever thought it was he deemed so important to lay on us in a very difficult time, but he persists.
Yeah. Congrats.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go be a stupid captain or something? Like he wants?
No. No, I think if I'm going to be denying him for the first time, I'm not going to do it in a way that pleases him even a little.
Yeah. Screw command.
I do start flight training, though.
What are they training you on? Is it the 640?
We'll start on small craft, but I don't think I'll have to stay on it very long. I don't think they have any Excelsiors at the academy, but...
Excelsior. Did you know there is more than one starship in the galaxy?
This is correct. However, none of them are the Excelsior, apart from the Excelsior. I also come bearing another olive branch, if you'll take it, and she pulls out a pad and slides it over to you. I know we won't be able to have contact with him, but I thought you might want to know where Kaz will end up now that Mozzie is gone. And on the pad is a symbiont registry listing that Mozzie Kaz has passed away, and the Kaz symbiont will be moved to an individual named Benway Kaz.
And
He
so
works at the Daystrom Institute, but...
And so just to feed some visuals to everybody watching this, the images on this pad also show somebody named Mozzie. Would you like to describe Mozzie?
Yeah, Mozzie was like... God, we were like butch. Like we were like, she's just like cool butch. Like,
a family friend and next door. Sort of?
Yeah, she is a retired pilot. She used to do like basically like important people, like chauffeured important people, and like was like in like got garnered enough favor throughout her career that she was able to retire very, very well. But she was our next door neighbor growing up in San Francisco when we were really little, and was like the only positive influence on us. So all the time, whenever the siblings talk about food or grilling or Mozzie's food, she's the one who instilled a love of food in us.
Yeah. How do you get this? Symbiont registry.
I had to talk to several very annoying classmates. They go to a school for embassy kids.
Yeah, well, you know, annoying and our classmates is kind of redundant.
But I was able to find someone who would talk to me when I gave them my sob story, I suppose. They liked it enough to pass the information. I know we can't talk to him, but he's out there.
Like, is it like a for real rule though, or is it like, you know, Dad tells us we can't, kind of can't?
I believe it's a cultural consequence.
That
I
doesn't
don't
answer the
quite.
question.
I don't quite understand it that they have different rules for romantic relationships than they do other types. But I suppose if we were to end up in the same place, I don't suppose we couldn't speak to him. You have any excuse to go to the Daystrom Institute?
I mean, no, not until they accept me as the greatest test pilot in Starfleet.
The moment you say that, Cadence, the entire room ripples with emotion as something stirs inside of you, a memory. You feel it first to Aeon. Like it seems to, if it was physical, it'd be like water suddenly rising in the room, threatening to drown everyone in here. But it suddenly becomes very palpable to everyone. To you, Tavine, it's surprising. It's not familiar to you. This belongs to Cadence and Cadence alone, and it emanates from Cadence. A memory. You hear, all of you, you hear a door, like the echo of a door opening. You hear the echoes of a voice saying, "You have no right to be in here," echoing in the distance, like from down the hall or another corridor. It seems to pass.
For some reason, we are being pulled through your memories, the two of you.
Does appear so.
Is this a situation where we would want to power through them? Find a way to cut through them?
Was I able to get a beat on like what is happening here?
Make an insight command check.
Command. Oh God.
Oh, you're so good at those.
I'm really good at those. You have no
Difficulty is 2.
idea. Oh, jeez. Okay.
Do you get a situational anything?
Yeah, because I'm in a meld. Like I have mind meld as a talent, and mental discipline is an ability, like species ability.
No, because you have no training, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, this is all just like
yeah,
shit she
you're
did as a
kind
kid.
of, you know how to do these things, but you don't necessarily know what any of this means or exactly like.
It's all instinct and not
You can
like
paddle the boat, but sailing is a whole different kind of skill.
Okay. Insight command. Jesus. Okay. Oh, well. Oh, I got excited. I don't have any focuses that count, so it's only one success. I was like, oh, I added 2. And I go, no, there's nothing here would.
It's
help
the
that
same
at all.
thing. It's the same thing that Taeon experienced. There's something that's anchored you guys here. Something's stopping. You're not sure what role it's playing, or if this is are you really there? Or is this a memory? It's particularly hard for you and Cadence to know the difference.
I'm not sure. It seems there's some type of resistance here, but maybe we can bypass it. Unfortunately, that may mean exposing ourselves to more mortifying childhood encounters, but maybe we can untwist some threads here and it'll let us through.
I think all I will warn is that maybe we try not to interact with these memories. They may not just be memories. I kind of instinctually rub my chest where I took that blast.
Understood. Where are we still in the room? Or are we?
I haven't moved yet. Yeah, I'm still in the room.
The environment hasn't changed at all. We just heard something.
No, it doesn't look. Yeah, it's like something was being conjured for a moment and it just kind of went away. But it feels like time has stopped. Like nothing else is happening right now.
I will turn in the direction that we heard that voice.
The door to the bedroom.
Standing in one place won't do anything, so let's move forward.
Yes, Caitlin wanted to follow it, but Tavine is like, what if I didn't hear that? What if we didn't have to hear any more of these things that happened to me as a child? Yes, let's go.
That sentiment, having said it out loud and me having heard you, when the door to the bedroom opens, there's this sudden flood of embarrassment and protectiveness and concern emanating instinctively out of you, Tavine, because you step into a scene between you and your father. Cadence is not here. And he is pacing back and forth across the room with a stern look on his face. You're not entirely sure if this is an accurate depiction of events or if this is happening, but you, Tavine, remember this moment, a moment you never told Cadence about, a moment you were trying to protect Cadence from. Cadence, you see a memory that does not look familiar to you at all, and it feels like you've stepped into something new. And then you become quite aware of the emotion that is starting to flood off of your sibling. The voices of the conversation grow louder. Not to speak for Tavine. Tavine, you get to tell me how you respond as your father says the things he says in this moment. Of course I did. It was logical. In order to become the ambassador upon the death of Ambassador Sarek, I had to make myself a candidate. You know this as well as I do. That is why I treat Cadence the way I treat them. I give them opportunities they would not otherwise be presented to itself. But if I'm to be the ambassador to Earth, then I must have access to the knowledge given to me by the emotional and absurd natures of human beings. Ambassador Sarek had a human wife. It was logical. A sibling serves their purpose, and I provide. It's time that you accept this fact and expect no more of me. It is interfering with your studies and your future. And you, in particular, cannot afford to be interfered with by a human.
Particular.
So if I agree, you'll make sure they get the ship. No strings attached. No more holding anything above our heads.
You have my
If
word.
I leave them alone, you'll let them have the ship.
They may go wherever they wish. But only after I have received the ambassadorial position. Once I am made ambassador, then this story can come to an end. The foolishness may continue elsewhere. Again, you hear this echo coming out of Cadence. A memory of almost a raised voice of the father. You have no right being in here, echoing.
What's all this about? Deal.
He promised that if I went to the academy, kept my head down, got my assignment, and left. Didn't make waves. Didn't interfere anymore with his journey to ambassador. He would release Mozzie's ship to you. He'd let you have it.
He never let you have it, Cadence. You hear the echo again. You have no right being in here, and there's a sense of darkness in the hallway. The memory where he took it from you. Where you went where you weren't supposed to go in the study. After your sibling went to Starfleet Academy. And saw things that you've forgot about.
Okay, so what if I am in here? What are you going to do about it?
You are all standing in his study suddenly. Cadence is behind his desk. His data pads are open. And records and files have been pulled up. You weren't aware of this memory, Tavine. This is new. You're not here. Cadence looks older in this memory. This must have been after you left the academy. Maybe not long. The fury on his face is cold. There's no real memory of like the words that are being said. You hear the noises like it's echoing. All of you feel this rage directed, this Vulcan cold anger. You can see images of Cadence standing their ground. But what draws your attention are the data pads. There's a sense of, Cadence, you discovered something here he didn't want anybody to see. Not only did you discover something he didn't want anybody to see, but you got him. He was hiding something from you. He was hiding something from your sibling, and you got him. But you just don't, it all happened so quick. You saw the data pads in your eyes. You remember seeing something urgent, but he stormed in so quickly and found you. So you bluffed your way through this, like you knew what it had said. But you remember how it ended. I will see to it that that ship is dismantled immediately, and you are henceforth banned from this house. Leave and never come back.
How many times are you going to try to kick me out? Huh?
Will be no more trying.
Oh, cool. So should I just run up and down the street hollering about it?
Do as you please. So long as it is not here. Your time here has come to an end. Leave now.
Good. I'll tell everyone in Starfleet, everyone in the Federation, what a disappointment you are. Time paused for a moment earlier. May I try to consciously recapitulate that thing to like try to read this pad?
Sam?
Yeah?
If you're telling me you want to manipulate a brain dance, yes. You absolutely can.
Oh.
Because you have two Vulcans here that are connected to you. Two Vulcans who can strengthen the memory and use their abilities to help you read what your eyes saw, what your brain saw on those pads.
Yeah, I want to do that, please.
You're left with an impression. You don't know exactly what they said, but it set him off something fierce. It was the day he kicked you out and took the ship from you, broke his promise that you didn't know he made until just now. You didn't know he had broken until just now. Tavine.
Yeah, I would help.
You don't have to roll. All you have to do is spend that point of momentum that you start with in this session and activate There's No Place Like Home. And it's
I'm
yours.
good for it if y'all are.
Yeah, we go from 2 down to 1 because we have our 2 close-knit crew points.
Okay.
Make a insight plus command check, the difficulty of 1.
All right. Two. So let's
2
get that
successes.
momentum back on the board.
Oh yeah.
He fades from the memory. But the ripples of emotion and the surprise of learning all of this, all that begins to fade away because you almost answer to what Cadence feels this sudden urgency. Now that you're here again, Cadence, a unique opportunity. You gaze down at the data pads and each of you become aware of what Cadence is trying to do. The two of you help. How would you like to help? You have succeeded. How does it happen? The two of you approach Cadence next to the desk. You see data pads and a computer log is open, a holographic projection with writing and pictures on it. And you see Cadence got into what looked like a secured part of the desk. An act of rebellion to the end. Cadence seems to have broken into his files, which would track. This came a day after this came shortly after he basically said the only reason why I adopted you was so I could become the ambassador. So, Cadence, you remember, it's starting to slip back to you. You broke in here. Where are your adoption papers? Who were your real parents? You found something altogether different, what you weren't expecting.
Are you sitting at the desk or are you just standing next to it?
Since I froze it during yelling, I think I'm standing.
Standing, okay. Then I think Tavine assist is reaching out and holding onto your wrist. Not knowing if handhold is acceptable at this moment, but is holding on and is going to offer my memories of this space too, basically, as I've been here too, even though I can't see these specific screens because I never saw them. I lived in this house. I experienced this childhood. My memories can fill in until you have the foundation blocks to reach what is missing here.
I think my aid will come in an attempt to essentially make everything else blur or fade away. So there's less input coming from other places, or very similar to how when you're lost in a car and you for some reason you turn down the volume of the radio. It's not going to do anything.
Yeah,
it does mentally help you there.
I'm going to do
I've
something.
seen that. I've never gotten lost myself.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna just pat myself on the back because I'm gonna do something a little clever here. Because when this whole thing was initiated, if you remember, one of the things that was used to help bolster and boost so that you had momentum and you can make the roll was you got a positive talking to by your captain.
That's true.
And so as you call upon your ability to add serenity to this, a manifestation of Hata appears in this room with you all, immediately adding, as the memory manifests of your captain, that future where the siblings are together, working together. They did it. Their captain appears, a manifestation of that triumph, of that act of defiance. Hata? Eliza, if you'd like to play this echo of Hata, who is actually not really here, but as the memory of Hata that the crew members have, it immediately adds this feeling of security, strength, the calmness, the matter-of-factness of Hata.
Yeah, I think it's gonna you see her, just her, not the tank as she calls it, the fish tank, but you see her as if she's in the fish tank, like with her limbs kind of floating ethereally, and I think it's gonna be kind of like for all of you. Actually, there was a moment at the party you all had for her, the beach party, the pool party, I think it was, pool/beach party, where she invited you all to come down to to sit on the bottom of the ocean with her, and we're all sitting in a circle, cross-legged, and she's just like smiling at all of you, like, hey, this is fun, right? And I think in that moment, maybe this was a foreign environment for you. It was uncomfortable maybe, but you felt some type of comfort and safety being with her there. And I think that's kind of what she brings in this moment as well.
I would love it if Taeon's like blur everything outside of the tunnel vision becomes like water blur with that.
Yeah.
Like it's like the distortion through water would be kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Okay. One thing I'm going to give you before the datapad revelations is that because it was the same call for the roll, and because you scored 2 successes, Cadence, perhaps beautifully ironically, is the one that actually figures out what this is with a successful presence command check. We'll be back in 10 minutes.
Brutal.
We'll be back in 10 minutes. Hydrate. Get ready. See you then. We're back. Welcome back to Last Excelsior. Before we kick off the second half of the game, I want to pause for a sec because, and I asked Ed for permission, and he said I could. But Ed, who is a friend of StreamPunks, Sam, you might remember Ed as part of our clutch of dragons from D&D in a Castle, and Ed sent me something for Christmas, which was very kind, sent it to our PO box. So I got it today, and I just want to show it off real fast. So the first thing he sent me was this metal insignia.
No way.
From
Yo,
the
that looks so cool.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, that is gorgeous.
Yeah. So he sent this, which he told me he was sending it, but I had no idea. It looks amazing. So this is rad. Thank you so much for that.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then he also sent me, this, which of course my green screen is it's DS9.
Oh my god. Whoa.
No way.
Yeah, he sent me the Master Replica's DS9 model.
Oh my
Holy
shit.
So yeah, so
What are you gonna do with an space station?
I know. I'm gonna put it next. I've got a couple of Master Replica stuff. Maybe I'll just I'll play in the bath with them. It'll be great.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Do you have to build it, or is it like
pre-assembled? No, you just pull that bad.
Whoa.
It's the same company that did the Enterprise B that I got for the Last Excelsior. So I'll just put them next to each other and be like, the mystery of the week is, oh my god, how did the Excelsior get so big? And
Eat its veggies.
yeah. Thank you, Ed. That's amazing. They look fantastic. It's so cool. I really appreciate it. Also, Sam, be aware, I do have fan mail for you as well. So you'll be getting that soon. Let's see. That's going to be it for the announcements. Let's jump back.
I have another thing.
Oh.
I want to just say real quick. I fully forgot.
Do you go? Yes, please.
While we were away, it was my birthday, and a bunch of people wish me happy birthday. I just wanted to quickly say thank everyone who wished happy birthday.
I love it when you
really sweet.
I love it when these people get attacked. I love it.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yay.
I love to post a friend's coffee link to say happy birthday, support them
I
monetarily.
randomly started getting coffee. Started getting tips, and I was like, what's happening? I didn't tweet anything about my coffee.
Because the
and
finger pointing emoji is really strong.
You did, yes.
Is mighty.
Wonderful.
Well,
monetarily. And if you miss their birthday, you can still support them monetarily.
You too can emotionally destroy them by giving them support.
Yeah.
All right, are we ready?
Let's find out. Hang on to your butts, y'all.
In the study, Hata to Aeon, Tavine, Cadence. The writing on the desk, as you all begin to feel this sort of emotional synchronicities begin to take place, is the revelation that you have, Cadence, where you realize you and your sister are meant to be the foundation to help to Aeon reach out and see if he can connect with Carl somehow. That's going to bolster and make it possible. What seems to have happened is the three of you and this strange interconnectivity that Aeon has, it seems to have essentially run you all straight into the wall of things unresolved within you and your sibling. This psychic connection, the only way through this is to finally pull the mask off of all these secrets that you two have been protecting the other from, and to see through this repressed period of hurt and revelation. It's not, y'all are not stepped back through time. This is all both of you on your psychic scape right now, blended into memories and experiences, being exposed and reliving them. That's what this is. And the only way past it is to get through it, finally. It settles on you. The realization comes to you, just like the emotions. The ripple of that realization awakens into Aeon and Tavine at the same time as it spreads away from Cadence. The two of you realize what Cadence realizes and then therefore realize it. And the words start to form all over these data pads. The words that do form start to tell a story about a man who never saw the youth of his household as his children, but gateways to a career. Anticipation of the death of a legend, Ambassador Sarek, and positioning himself for decades to take the prestige of becoming his successor and be the ambassador of Earth. For the longest time, it would appear that Cadence was that step stool. But as Tavine's adoption records begin to materialize on the data pads, a new story is starting to unfold before your very eyes. Tavine, this is something unknown to you, something you did not see before, something that he had locked away. The data pads have images and pictures, records of your birth parents, correspondence between Vulcan High Command and your father, your adopted father. Some of the emails, the messages don't look like Cadence was able to see all of them. Some of them blur, but you are able to get some bits and pieces that tell the story. The story of why you were of great concern to Vulcan High Command. You. And why your father adopted you. There are names on these data pads. You see the name Tapar. And as you see the name, Cadence, you along see the slightly fuzzied image of a woman that looks a little like Tavine. She is standing near what looks like, no, it is Mount Saleya, on Vulcan with a man next to her, and they are holding a baby. There's a symbol in the lower right corner that you don't recognize, Cadence. But you do to Aeon. It is a symbol of a house of nobility on Vulcan, an ancient house of nobility. One that is known most notably for having ties to the priesthood that stretch all the way back to the time of Sorak. It's Tavine's mother, to be sure. Tapar was her name. And she was descendant from aristocracy, nobility, the priest. She was descendant of a priestess. Underneath the datapad, it continues to go further. There is the name Tari, which would appear to be, if you're reading this correctly, Tavine's grandmother, who is considered a renegade and anathema to the High Command because she became involved with who would appear to be Tavine's grandfather. And while it may not seem recognizable to either Cadence or Tavine, as somebody who is very, very educated in Vulcan history to Aeon, next to the name Tari, you see both the image and the name. Sybok, son of Sarek, half-brother of Spock. Banished from Vulcan as a criminal. The line goes to what would appear to be a monument of shame among the Vulcans. You see references to Sybok's journeys in his youth, his partnership, taking on a pirate lover at one point, and trying to raise sentiments against the Vulcan High Command, embracing the passions of the ancestors, and encouraging Vulcans to forsake the teachings of Sarek. It doesn't make mention as to whatever happened to this partner that he had, a pirate named Angel. Cunning, wicked-looking person with a rather dashing and dangerous grin. Effeminate features with a deadly gaze. Sybok then found a new partner. Three, who would be the grandmother. Your line traces back, and it becomes so very clear. You, too, were for political advantage to help bury a dangerous secret and to give favor, perhaps in an attempt to earn favor from Ambassador Sarek. It all lays out the warnings. Sybok, known for encouraging emotion among Vulcans. All of the times your adopted father told you not to fall into the influence of the emotions of humans. All it rings so loud now. All of those bizarre warnings he came to give over and over about Cadence. All the weird side comments he made about gambling by taking Cadence on. What a risk it was and what a terrible influence they could be upon you. And in that moment, this whole time, it dawns on you, Tavine, he was better at masking it. But to him, You were just Cadence with Vulcan ears. And a step stool. Door opens. Like the memory loops, and you hear, "You have no right to be in here," as the motion swells up, and then it fades again, drifting away.
Fascinating.
I put out my hand.
You go from holding onto your arm to holding onto your hand.
I think radiating off Theon as he pieces this together, and I think there's almost maybe some level of feedback loop as I'm getting emotions from Cadence and to being here, but you feel a mix of anger and what's a good word for it? Amusement?
Like, it's like, it is kind of funny. Like, what do you mean descended from royalty? Like, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
there's a little bit of like, what?
Yeah, I feel like amusement would be the best word for it. Like, furious
Indignant.
like, furious that they went through this. And I think as we hear the shout of their quote unquote father, that anger kind of like flashes a bit hotter, and you see Theon tense as if they're about to make a move but don't. But then as that voice fades again, the strange wave of amusement kind of bubbles a little bit underneath that fiery surface again.
Oh, I think Tiffy giggles. Like, really suddenly, like, can't help it, like, bubbles out and then hand over the mouth.
What?
Just like one, like, just like two little bubbles, and then it's like,
There's more information on there, but that's the gist of what you all read.
this feels like a hollow novel.
So are you like Queen Tavine?
I don't like that it rhymes.
It rhymes. It must be true. He's worse than we ever thought. I thought he was just this kind of political flavor garbage. For me, he's garbage all the way down.
I would say that this makes a lot of things make sense, but I think he was just terrible, and it always made sense that he was terrible. This is just absurd.
It's just a new flavor of terrible.
It's a soap opera of absurd at this point. He's
left wall of the house,
cartoonishly.
as you're talking, the left wall of the house suddenly falls. Doesn't crash, it simply vanishes. There's nothing on the other side, but it doesn't feel like the void. It just feels like nothing that is this is on the other side of that.
He made us so miserable.
Another wall seems to fade as the sunlight is coming from nowhere now.
He kept us from each other for no good reason.
And you didn't even get the ship. Oh. Do you think he ever cared to disassemble it, or do you think it's still in a storage facility? I could call home and see if we could still get you the ship.
I never knew. I was pissed at you this whole time, and I didn't even know. I was pissed at you this whole time.
I know. You're allowed to be. You should be. I left before the deal was made. I was already in academy when he made the deal. I still left you. And so you have every right to be mad. You can be.
Mad because I thought you abandoned me.
And I did.
No, you were looking out for me. You just weren't there.
Seems kind of the same to me.
They'll take back their hand and they will punch you in your arm. Nope, don't get to be harder on yourself than I am. Sibling rules.
The walls are all gone except for a single door. The study's still there. The desk, the sunlight.
There's okay. The desk is empty.
Desk still has the data pads on it. Still has everything that was on it. It's still there.
On top of the data pads, there is a box that shows up that probably takes them a second to realize is there. And Cadence, you would recognize it as like a childhood chest that like Tivian kept trinkets in, like her secret little like she had like there were like 5 things she kept in there ever. And it was like a sentimentality. It was the only thing she ever let be like anything emotional, and she would deny that it was sentimental, but it was like very obviously like a sentimental thing. And I think she doesn't notice it's there, but I think maybe you do, because I think maybe it's like behind her. I do agree to the rules of engagement. You are allowed to be as hard on me as you'd like.
Okay. I'll start with this. What was ever in there anyway?
And she turns and sees it and goes, you knew most of it. Mozzie's necklace. The really nice pen. And 1 ink cartridge.
I open it up.
And a thing you don't recognize is a token-sized like hollow emitter. With the year 2369 on it. And she'll reach over and activate it. And it is a small, like, hollow feature card, like brochure style, of a graduation ceremony where you got to do the flight demonstration for your class with your wing that she didn't tell you she came home for.
You're such a piece of shit. I hug you.
I hug you back, but in the like Vulcan way, like with a little bit of Vulcan strength, so you get like a real good squeeze out of it.
You get a spinal adjustment.
Yeah, a little lift. I am sorry for what I let him do. I had agency and I let him get the better of me. I thought I was doing the right thing, but these past months, working with you on the Pride, I've realized it was all a mistake. I shouldn't have believed him.
You know, if I got mad about every kind of dumb shit thing, I'd never stop hating myself. So why would I hold you to a standard? Oh, right, you're my big sister. I can do that forever.
Well, as you said, you're not allowed to hate yourself because you can't be harder on yourself than I am on you. Sibling rules.
I hate when things come back to bite me.
You get a full noogie, like in half hug, like you get like full like Vulcan, like fully apathetic face, but like full Vulcan strength.
Stop! You're the
Of your
worst. You're the
hair.
worst. You're the worst. You're the worst. Oh, I hate you.
You were
I
in
hate
a
you. I hate you. I
dreamscape,
hate
so
you.
you can't even
hate
complain
you.
about your hair.
Stop it.
It will look
Stop it.
exactly as it did before we left.
Stop it right
And
now.
then
You're the
Aeon,
volleyball.
and you get let back up.
to Aeon, you feel a sensation of this place relenting suddenly. And you hear, as this is happening, behind you, the door goes, it unlocks.
I think even as this is going,
Hmm.
I think Taryn's been kind of staring at the desk, at these pads, and you still kind of feel this amusement, anger hybrid coming off of them. If you'll indulge me, Eric,
Sure, what you got?
could that loop, just the beginning of it, happen one more time? As the father comes in shouting at young Cadence.
Okay.
Aeon turns and throws a punch at this.
He shatters like glass as he steps in and says, "What are you doing in here?" You have to smash right into him. He shatters, splinters and breaks, and you see thousands of pieces of him fly and just sizzle in the air as though the glass had been caught by the superheated light of the sun. Wisps of smoke with each individual piece of glass returning to sand right in front of you, and dust falls and catches in the light of the rays that are shining from nowhere.
Slowly let you up out from the noogie. End up with arm around shoulder. Turns out he can clean up nice.
Kind of like fixes his hair, like try to straighten himself. Oh, sorry.
You're invited to the next grill day.
Thank you. We should get going. I think whatever blockage has been. There's a slight smile as they look at the TV just post noogie. I feel like a blockage has been removed.
As newly minted Queen Tavine, I will allow you one I told you so. Directly to Taeyeon.
I'm going to save it when we're outside of the dreamscape.
As is your right. And I think we head towards the door.
I'm going to throw this out there for the audience because I don't want to get well actually'd, because the dialogue is charming and I love it and nothing's changing. But before anybody pushes up their glasses and well actually's us and reminds us that there is no such thing as Vulcan royalty, I know they said it in Star Trek V. Gene Roddenberry didn't like it either.
I said it, and I can say it the way I want. Deliberately misunderstand.
Exactly.
I know. You really think a diplomat's kid doesn't know Vulcan culture and is not deliberately misconstruing it because it's funny?
Yes, this is me getting out in front of the
please Trek check me. Please Trek check me. It will be so funny if you do. Get in the comments and correct me about Star Trek lore. I would love nothing more in this earth.
As you open the door, you see a beautiful image, a vista in front of you that is just this beautiful, calm, serene looking, just like mud flat in front of you that stretches on against the backdrop of what looks like a nebula of spectacular colorations of every spectrum of color, and some that probably people don't have names for, which would indicate to you that you might be seeing into ultraviolet here as you're looking at this nebula spin and churn. And contrasted against it, you see about 100 feet from the door is the great shape of the ancient technological being known as the Guardian Forever. And sitting out in front of it in a wooden rocking chair, reading a newspaper in a long coat and a bowler hat with a cigar in his hand is Carl, who doesn't seem to look up and notice you. And as you all start to step through the door, Cadence and Tavine stop dead as soon as you hit the doorway, as you watch Aeon pass through it. And he disappears, and the doorway disappears. And to Aeon, you find yourself with just Hata, the memory of Hata standing next to you, your captain. Hata never got to meet Carl. Wasn't here for that. But Hata's with you. The memory and her strength and knowing that she is actually standing close by to you. Everything that you know about Hata and who she is stands next to you. In all respects, your captain.
I look to this memory, this echo of Hata, and just give a nod. Thank you, Captain.
Well, what's the next step?
I think maybe we knock. I'm gonna just sorry to impose. I'll yell out to Carl.
What? He shouts back at you. You're gonna have to come closer, kid. I can't hear you from all the way over here.
Good point. And Tam will start walking towards Carl.
Hata swims next to him.
Well, here we are at last, he says with a warm smile on his face. He says, I was just reading about you. And he flips the paper over and it says the time convergence. It says, front page news. We're finally here at last. You are out of time.
Yes. We have a lot of questions, concerns, and we thought maybe you could help answer or put some of them at peace.
I'm just a door to Aeon.
Yes, but the thing we're dealing with, from what you said, it's part of you, based on you. We can maybe had some insight.
You see he smirks at that and nods. You might detect a hint of sadness. You know, there's a lot of wisdom to not getting involved. Now, hear me out. I'm not telling you no, just hear me out. He stands up and folds the paper under his arm. Says, people don't like being told that they shouldn't mess with the timeline. People don't like being told they shouldn't play with toys that could have ramifications that could ripple across an infinite number of realities. It reminds them of how small they are. The funny thing about that is no one's small. It works both ways. You can sit there and look at a planet, notice how much bigger it is than you, made up of the same molecules that you are. Time, size, it really does get quite relative when you see it all from the bird's point of view. You want to know more about this Romulan ship? Yes. And what your time would call the 33rd century, I start getting used as a weapon. I start hurting people. Well, they start using me to hurt people. And the thing is I like to think that my creators built me so that I could help people understand themselves. You can tell carbon-based life forms till you're blue in the face that all they really have is right now. And some of them will just fall into this terrible fit of depression because they don't see how precious and vital right now is, how infinitely powerful right now is. When you're a door to everything before and everything after, it gives you a bit of a perspective on how silly that gets to be. The truth of the matter is, to Aeon, somebody who experiences time the way I experience it, I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. You and me, back at the beginning again.
Again?
You want to know why it is that these psychic episodes of yours are taking you across time, forwards and backwards? Well, that's a reasonable question. I'd want to know too. But I can't answer that for you. And not because I don't want to, and not because it's going to ruin things for you. Well, maybe, but because You told me not to. It's for you to find out. And you saved me, so I owe you. He takes a long puff off his cigar. Without you, it'd still be a weapon. I can't answer all the questions about this ship. You're just going to have to discover these things on your own. But I'll tell you what. Your crew's ready now. You got everything you need. More importantly, there's not another crew in the whole universe that's better equipped to deal with what you're about to face. I did make a promise to you. The promise was, when we reached the moment where the next part of your life began and the old one ended, I would try to break it to you easy. That's the first part. See, you asked me if it has to happen the same way over and over again. And I kind of made a snide, smug remark the way I do about how I'll let you know when it doesn't happen the same way it happens every time. Here you are, out of time. Literally. We're there. Everything changes after this. And I mean everything. I'm talking whole store. Brand new grand opening. Gonna put a polish on the door handles, fix the windows, put up the big signs. Imagine in an infinite universe, the effects it has when you toss a big pebble into a river and the ripples that it have. Not even try to manifest in your mind the sheer complexity of what that not only does to space-time, but what it does across realities. And I've seen jumping realities, and soon you will too. But for now, suffice to say, the changes that you've made by sheer happenstance of being infected with these little silly particles, and the commitment you've all had to one another, it's made changes. Subtle. Word of encouragement here, changing somebody's direction, sparing an enemy, helping a Cardassian from a mortal foe once long time ago, helping a Klingon captain realize she's not alone out there. There's still hope. Jumping to other realities to help people you've never met before. The ripple effect all converges here, all now. Everything's changing. Rights have been restored to, well, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but suffice to say, bit of a spoiler, but I wouldn't worry too much about that Hobus star in the future. I have a feeling that puppy's going to stay right where it belongs. Takes a long puff off the cigar. Unless you die. And that's entirely possible to Aeon because, like I said, this is all new. The convergence has happened. We've reached the point where I can't tell what's going to happen next. It's quite lovely. It only happens a few times in timelines, and it always has to do with universes popping off. And I can't tell you what to do, but I can give you back a piece of your future self. I can give you maybe what could be the last piece that could help you. I've been holding on to it for a while now. And it does belong to you, even though you have technically had it in your possession again and again. But now that we're here, this is yours. And he reaches into his woolen coat. And with his thick leather gloves, you see him pull out a beautifully wrapped present and the brightest multicolored foiled paper and the most perfect bow. And he hands it to you and he says, "Happy birthday, Taeyeon. Welcome back. It's good to see you again. Thank you for saving me."
I've been looking at Carl with very clear confusion
Mhm.
on my face this entire time. And I think even as I'm given this gift, I look down at it confused.
Okay.
I kind of focus in on the ribbon specifically.
Yes,
As
he says suddenly, as you focus on the ribbon. You're asking yourself if everything's about to change. It is. Your life in Starfleet, and your life as you know it. You wanted me to break it to you easy. I can't. I can't do that. Sheer fact is the very thing that makes existence absolutely gorgeous. Is the very thing that breaks our hearts about it. Nothing's permanent. That includes the life you were living, which is going to stop and change forever the moment you open that box. So think about it.
I sigh. I really do miss the boring.
He smirks. Waking up is realizing there's no such thing. No such thing as ordinary moments.
I'll pull the ribbon.
You pull the ribbon. You pull the paper aside. You pull open the box. And inside is a data pad. And it activates Prism. And it says, "Convergence detected. Hello, agent. It is good to see you again. Shall we try again?"
Let's try this again.
He takes a smile and a long drag off his cigar. The future you thanks you, Taeon. Welcome back. And that is where we are stopping tonight's game.
I need everybody to watch that back and see me mouth prism at the exact same time Eric says it because holy shit.
Next,
Aeon, time agent of the future. New spinoff coming in September.
Whoa.
future self sent you back the gift, and it's all come full circle. So, next episode is our penultimate episode for the Last Excelsior.
Whoa.
Time flies, don't it? Savor those moments, as they say.
wait.
Thank you so much for joining us again on a very important episode of The Last Excelsior. It's good to be back. Stay tuned to our Patreon and Coffee for the announcements we've got coming up. We will definitely see you all next Monday. Until then, thank you all so much. And we will see you next week. Until then, hailing frequencies are closed.
Love your neighbors.